All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League. This is game number 3 between Team Dignitas and Team Liquid for the semifinals. My name is Mont. With me tonight is NY John. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and I'm really excited now that we get to see the series tied up again. I don't know if it's biased, but I'm personally hoping that this series goes the distance for all 5 games because every time these two teams clash, we get to see something exciting.
I don't think you're biased. I think a lot of people like seeing series go the distance. I mean, and I don't know. It's just really enjoyable. Maybe not the players so much. Maybe the players are like, all right, 5 games, a little much. But at the same time, like, I think that these teams are okay with it going to 5 games because they want, to really practice and they want to be able to, actually have the, competition before TI3. I mean, getting that between two, close teams, two close friends, really important to have. Get that rivalry going, get that competitive juices flowing, essentially. And we'll see how it goes as we get into the draft here for the third game. Remember, this is a best of 5 for the ADL. I want to make a few shout-outs here. If you would like to purchase up a ticket, please do so. The rest of the series from now on are best of 5s, and definitely some good ones coming up. Of course, we have EG versus Denial, I believe tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, also, which would be 3 o'clock Pacific for those of you on the West Coast. And on top of that, make sure you check out the AmericanDotaLeague.com or AmericanDotaLeague.com, and the American Dota League on Twitter, which is twitter.com/AmericanDota. Make a user follow over there, as well as follow us on the channel that you're watching this right now, which is twitch.tv/AmericanDotaLeague. So definitely check that out. We will see some bands coming out. Team Dignitas going with the standard IO as well as Treant band. Team Liquid's going to go ahead and pick up that Batrider, Darkseer, and Jakiro band, which is Team Dignitas' bread and butter. So Batrider is going to go for Team Liquid, a good pickup for them. Dignitas, they've got a couple of choices here. They're going to pick up the Lifestealer first and then the Lone Druid right afterwards, which is kind of going back to their first game a little bit with the Lifestealer played by Universe. Lone Druid was played, I believe, in the previous series in the D2L. A couple of interesting pickups because... Oh, and the Naga Siren also going for Team Liquid. Very nice pickup for them. I was mentioning the interesting pickup from Team Dignitas because they had such good... chemistry with those heroes in the previous game that they picked up, that it's kind of surprising to see them go a different route here, but we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, it's the same setup now that they had, you're right, in that D2L game with the Lone Druid and Lifestealer. It's a 2-core at the very least. Curious to see if they're going to swap it around, put Universe as the farmer, and then put AUI in the offline like they did in that instance. Mm-hmm. But I think the main difference is going to be trying to get a middle that isn't as reliant on farm. When they picked up that Storm Spirit, I didn't like that setup because if one of those lanes goes awry, all of a sudden you're not hitting at full strength. But now also looking at the pool, they're losing out on some of these other opportunities, like the puck being banned out. So maybe something like a Quap wouldn't be that bad. It still works well with Lifestealer. Maybe one of the other middle options, a Dragonite, who doesn't require as much farm and can still do some pushing with the Lone Druid. Or even throwing the Lifestealer up middle against Naga Siren wouldn't be worst case scenario if that is the matchup. It depends what Liquid want to do with these two heroes. They are two of the more versatile heroes in the pool right now.
You know what? You mentioned the Quap. I would not mind seeing a Pain Bomb, a Queen of Pain Bomb, if you will, which we've, I guess, started dubbing things now. I mean, anything Lifestealer's a bomb. Does that make the Lone Druid's bear a bear bomb? I mean, because you can infest that bear. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure. I don't think I've actually seen that happen a whole lot, but it's something that can happen. And would be a little bit ridiculous, but fun at the same time.
I don't know if I've ever seen it, actually.
Well, what better time than now, Team Dignitas? All eyes on you guys.
Step up your game.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now. But realistically, we'll see what they want to pick up here for the next few heroes. Supports are available and needed for both teams right now, unless we're going to go for like a supportless game, which would be cool. But that's not going to happen, as Bane's going to get picked up. And this is a smart pickup here, I think, for Dignitas, because Bane works not only against heroes like Weaver, but it works against heroes like Batrider specifically. Naga Siren, who is going to try to get out of there with that Song of the Siren. And I think that against a lot of the heroes that the metagame's starting to favor right now, including the Naga Siren and the Weaver, Bane does a good job against all of them. So I like Dignitas' choice to pick up the Bane once more.
Yeah, Bane is an amazing hero. I think I mentioned it last game when I saw him. For some reason, teams are just naturally shifting away, and we always see this, the phasing in and phasing out of supports for no real reason in particular, but this is one of those that people should remember is still a viable option because they were able to get up that level 6, the Fiend's Grip, pretty early in that last game, around the 11-minute mark, and that's before carries have a proper defense to cope with a Fiend's Grip. And it's before really you're 5-manning, so it's hard to interrupt Bane often on those side ganks. So it really does provide a lot of value as long as you get it in a pretty timely fashion, which most teams are able to do by taking full full advantage of other heroes roaming around and giving extra experience to the Bane where they can. So a nice pick from Dignitas, and Liquid here looking for a third hero. Already probably having their solo and a carry, but they're going to pick up a Weaver as well. So
Again.
they've been high on this Weaver. I think Korok actually tweeted before the last game he's playing Weaver all day, and I believe that he's actually played it all day for the most part because Weaver's a good hero. It definitely gets a little bit redundant at times. You keep playing it, but
Yeah.
it's a worthwhile pickup. And look at this minus armor stack between the Riptide and the Swarm now. Like, you can cope with a Lone Druid in bear form. You can deal with a Lifestealer by taking away a lot of his base armor. So it is nice synergy between these two heroes.
You know, I was about to say maybe throw in an Alchemist there to have Acid Spray, but then I realized that Alchemist was banned out, and they already have, like, 3 farmers, so that wouldn't work. But yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to see Korok playing the Weaver all day. You're right, it does get redundant from time to time. But, you know, what happens when Weaver gets banned out in the first ban phase? You know, what happens when people start learning how to cope with the Weaver? You know, Team Liquid, and if you watched that video earlier, which was produced by Join Dota, you'll note that they talked about how, you know, Liquid is looking for a consistent play style. And if it's the Weaver that they're relying on, then that's something you have to kind of consider and take into your thought process. Like, well, you can't really always rely on certain heroes, which, you know, Team Liquid have their core of heroes that they're very comfortable with, obviously, but at the same time, it's just like, you need to find other heroes that you're really good with. At the same time, I'm not saying that Liquid is, by any means, like, they're stuck with the one hero. I mean, they've got multiple heroes that they can run well. I think about the Clockwork, which they haven't run, I don't think, all day, which is one of Bulba's favorite heroes, and on top of that, I mean, they ran the Lone Druid earlier, which I haven't seen them play a lot. So at the same time, it's like, you know, what will teams do when we find something, you know, that counters the Weaver, or, you know, how we can deal with the Weaver? Do we stick with it, or do we pick up other heroes instead? And we'll see what Team Liquid wants to do. But until that point happens, they're going to go with it. And Team Dignitas, they're going to pick up the Leshrac, which is a really good combo with Bane.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I don't like about Weaver is the expensive cost of Lincolns and it being essential. But Dignitas already have a good amount of abilities to cope with it. You think of the Entangle and the Fiend's Grip. So they're not too concerned about it in particular. And here Team Liquid opt for the Razor. So this is a pretty crazy lineup from them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these heroes. I'm assuming this means Naga is all of a sudden a support, but still, Naga's not a great support hero. I believe earlier this morning DK struggled with it, with MMY playing the Naga support, because if you don't get farm, all of a sudden your Naga just disappears in team fights. We're talking about pure damage from Bane. We're talking about secondary damage from Lone Druid and Leshrac. It just piles up on a low farm hero. But either way, you could see Naga Siren with a Razor going to nail them down and then drain all of their damage. And Razor was Liquid's answer to Lone Druid the last time these two played these lineups. So I think this is one of the combos that they've kind of figured out, or one of the counters they've figured out, and they're trying to implement it here. But at what cost in terms of this pick? They're going to really need to get a solid support with their last selection.
You said the words, man. You said those words. But that's right. No, you're right. It's a weird lineup. Like, this is something that I was not expecting from the side of Team Liquid, with these 4 heroes in general. And Dignitas is going to go ahead and ban out a smart support here, which is that Shadow Demon, which was available. Visage got banned out from Team Liquid. There's still a few good supports out there that they can go for, but you're right, at what cost? I mean, realistically, there's only one real support here on this team right now, you know, which is going to be their final pickup. But they're going to wait to ban something out first. They have plenty of reserve time right now. By the way, there's 3 agility heroes, 1 intelligence hero, so some squishiness on the side of Liquid as well. Whereas you have the Lone Druid, who can get to his true form at level 6, make him a little bit tankier, and of course his bear, and then the Lifestealer, who's inherently tanky altogether. They're going to go ahead and ban that Storm Spirit out, which, you know, make sure that they don't get that Spirit Bomb against them, which is difficult to cope with, although they did so fantastically in the first game. Dignitas, they have a choice here. Who do they want to send mid right now? And honestly, it's up in the air. That Queen of Pain is still available, and I think it could work well, except for the fact that you've got to deal with Batrider's Lasso, Song of the Siren, and of course Weaver can time-lapse any sort of damage that the Queen of Pain outputs. So there are a few things that are negatives, I guess, about the Queen of Pain here, and I think Dignitas is thinking about that as well. So
I think Queen of Pain is the best choice. You think of Weaver early game, very squishy. If Naga's a support, that will get destroyed by the AoE damage from a Queen of Pain. Razor isn't that tanky early on in the game. Batrider is the only good thing that copes with a Queen of Pain because it lanes well against her. but instead they're going to go for the Windrunner, which is an interesting choice. Now they don't really have that jump for the Lifestealer, which is a little bit of a shame, but Windrunner with an extra disable, you can definitely see why they'd want to opt for that instead, because if they can slow down this Razor and prevent him from sapping off the damage and then going crazy on their team, then it definitely can be beneficial.
Yeah, that Shackle Shot's going to come real in handy. And Windrunner is kind of one of those mobile heroes as well. And I think up against the Batrider might do okay if that's what's going to be the mid lane matchup. It's going to be Windrunner versus Batrider. Should be okay in that mid lane with that Windrun available. And she can stay at a pretty far distance last hit, use that power shot as well when necessary. So I think that's a smart choice coming out from Dignitas. Liquid, they have to pick up a support here. I mean, like, I talked about going an all-carry lineup, but I was kind of just kidding, so I hope Team Liquid don't take me serious on that one. Not that they're listening or anything. But they've got 12 seconds left on reserve time.
Yeah, I think here one of the supports they'd probably be looking at is something like a follow-up stun, or wow, that is nothing like what I thought.
This is what I like to see.
Apparition.
This is what I like to see. When they don't have, a set style, they want to try to test things out, but at the same time, this isn't like they don't have a game up here to really, I guess, be like super smart about this. I mean, this is kind of concerning that they're going for this lineup in game number 3, but at the same time, I like the idea of just trying.
It's not really risky. I mean, to be honest, because this is what we used to see when Naga was picked last year. Naga and Ancient Apparition, because you net them and then you get the guaranteed cold feet disable on the back end of it. And then if you have Razor hitting somebody while sapping damage, that tri-lane all of a sudden is really strong. The problem is that tri-lane might be up against a safe laner, or an off laner only, so they're not going to have that much to harp on. And then they're going to be relying on getting those skills off in the middle of a team fight where they have to deal with Fiend's Grip, Entangle, stuns. So it's a little bit more difficult, but it does make a nice tri-lane for them. So I do like this pick. And Ancient Apparition, you said you like to see him more often. That ult buff is ridiculous. It's an amazing buff he received. So definitely a hero that more and more people are going to explore, and I think he deserves his place in the scene.
Yeah, I absolutely think you're right. But, of course, it is something we'll have to wait and see for. We're going to get jumping into this game. It is going to be game number 3 between Team Dignitas and Team Liquid here. On the side of Dignitas, AUI 2000 on his favorite Lone Druid. Snaking will be on the Windrunner, presumably going mid. Fogged will be on the Leshrac. We've seen that before. Certainly a great Leshrac player. Leshrac's one of my favorite heroes, so yeah, Leshrac. Universe going to be on the Lifestealer. And to round it out, way too sexy in the Bane. And John, Liquid is all yours.
Team Liquid, our Radiant team. We have Fluff and Stuff playing the support Nagasara and Korok on the Weaver for the millionth game in a row. IX Mike on the Ancient Apparition this time. Bulba will be playing the middle Batrider, interesting, and TSC will be on Razor. And we always talk about the flexibility of Liquid and being able to put so many different players anywhere, and that is coming into full effect in this series so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Bulba going back to mid, a role he's probably not played since... he might have done it a couple of times for Liquid, but he's probably not played mid really competitively since EG. So that's something you got to keep in mind. Liquid being pretty ballsy up here in this top lane. IX Mike going a little too far forward. He potentially could have gotten caught out here, but Dignitas is already backing off and sending their heroes down to different lanes. Fogged is going to roam down to the mid lane with Universe as well. Actually, it just looks like he's going to throw up a ward real quick, potentially, in that mid lane. Yep, there it goes. And Snaking will stay mid. Universe going to probably start out in that jungle once more, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure yet. He's got no Quelling Blade like he did in the first game. It looks like AUI 2000 is going to go down to that bottom lane, as they are going to be doing an aggressive tri-lane here from Liquid. I think they realize this, and they're okay with sending a hero down there. Actually, they're going to send Snaking as that off-lane Windrunner, give AUI the Lone Druid mid farm here, which should be pretty good, and TC's going to go mid right now as well. So everything changed pretty much right as we were talking about where people were going to go. We're like, yeah, Bulba's mid, and it didn't happen.
No, it always happens like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like to switch it up a little bit beforehand, but now Liquid are getting the matchup they want. They want the Razor against the Lone Druid, so I'm curious to see if they're going to try and switch this again. But it certainly is not going to be great for AUI in this middle lane with that damage being sapped. He should still get decent last hits, but it's slight concern for me.
Yeah, you're already seeing it right now, and that's a lot of damage gone. I mean, it's 28 damage right now, which is, because it's level 1, and you can see already AUI, if he gets close, that Razor's going to do some damage. and it's going to be frustrating. Universe should have an okay time, but at least he's only got one last hit right now. The Enfeeble not doing that much against Korok right now. It should stop his CS a little bit, but really it's not. I mean, he could still CS through the Enfeeble. Not that big of a deal. TC, and he's just going to be using that static link on cooldown, I think, and that's the smartest thing to do up against that bear. Fog coming through right now. He has Split Earth, but this is a tough win already for the side of Team Dignitas. They did counter ward. They threw that Sentry Ward down there, making sure that they can get some decent farm here. Universe is going to have a tough time as well. Snaking down in that bottom lane up against Bulba. There's no way that Snaking should be doing super effectively here. I mean, Bulba can just continue to stack up stacks there. He's only got 3 last hits compared to the 8 that Bulba has. So already Liquid dominating this early game with their lanes right now.
Yeah, it's just another setup similar to game 1 where they had 3 lanes that are looking better. And once again, these supports are going to be free to roam at some point from the top lane because it's a Weaver. Weaver can definitely manage himself and be pretty well off. As there's not that much detection to play right now, but they're going to go ahead and try and contest the pull. It looks like Fluff comes over, gets a Riptide, but he needs level 2 to get up that net before they can really pose any threat to Dignitas. But yeah, this is going to be a concern for Dignitas. They need to fix these lanes a little bit, and I'm not sure if it's going to require adding a support to middle or if it's going to be rotating them around, but they're probably going to have to shake it up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right now, because this is not going well for them, like, at all. Like, this is exactly what happened, I think, in game number 1. In game number 2, you saw Aoi get decent farm on that Gyrocopter, and I mean decent. He did pretty well for himself. He had pretty much, solo farm, essentially, in that lane. And I think right now they're losing all 3 lanes. If you look at the farm across the board here, you've got Razor, TC winning mid up against Aoi 2000. You've, of course, got up here Korok winning against Universe right now. And down here, Bulba's winning against the Windrunner. So they need to change something right now. They need to get something going, and you can see Universe is actually taking damage. There's going to be the open wounds going on Fluff right now. Not going to do a whole lot, though. So they'll back off. As you can see, Universe really can't get close right now. Even with that Enfeeble on Korok, the Shikuchi damage is still there. IX Mike did not, or he does have Chilling Touch. He actually just used it. So that is a lot of damage coming out early on, too. So right now, Dignitas looking like they need to change something. They're not doing it just yet, but we'll see how they can fare throughout the later stages of this laning phase.
Yeah, and usually if you're giving up a lot of lane gold, you want to have a better team fight, so when you group up together in 5-man Dota, things will end up going your way. But Liquid still have a really solid team fight. I mean, just alone having that Song of the Siren gives you amazing team presence, but on top of that, they also have the Lasso to initiate and great abilities outside of that. So this is a pretty big concern, and we'll see. I know a lot of viewers are probably wondering why we're overreacting so hard, but this is like how the first game started off, with these lanes just getting too far away from them, and Liquid are poised to really have a strong early game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they can get Korok the same farm they got him in the first game, they really shouldn't have to worry about that Bane too much, because right now Bane's in a tri-lane. Yes, they are pulling, but they're not necessarily getting the experience they want. Nobody's died yet, which is a good sign for both sides, but at the same time, when you're losing all 3 lanes, it's something that you kind of hate to see it, and you hope that they can maybe rebound from this. But at the same time, Liquid playing fantastically in all 3 lanes. I mean, Bulba down here shouldn't have too much of a problem against Snake King. And we mentioned TC and, of course, just static linking that bear. And it's happened time and time again right now, as you can see. Up in that top lane right now, Universe. And there's a nice Split Earth coming out. Korok might feed first blood here. Yes, he will go down. Fog is going to pick up that kill. He's trying to get away. The Cold Feet not going to work there. He's going to throw that Edict as well. And somehow Dignitas turned it around. The aggression was coming from Liquid, but somehow with a nice Split Earth from Fog, who was able to hit that, Korok does fall down there. And Fog gets that first blood. And a nice turnaround. And they need a little bit more of that, as well as just some more room to farm here for Universe.
Yeah, that had to be a mistake from Korok. He's probably the last person that should be getting caught in this lane. Honestly, there's no detection. So Sakuchi makes him so safe, and he probably went aggressive onto Universe as we saw him dropping pretty low. I missed the exact start of the fight, but definitely a little bit of a misplay, and that does give more room for Dignitas. Now Universe can catch up with his CS, get back towards the 21 mark that Korok is at right now, and Lifesteal's a good laning here. You can't really give him an edge, because he'll take full advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And right now, he's actually had a tough time CSing. Meanwhile, Chilling Touch is going to go. Korok going to go right onto Way Too Sexy. There's the Edict damage coming out as well. Might try to hit a Split Earth. Oh, a 3-prong Split Earth would be good. Goes on to Fluff right now. Way Too Sexy. Brain Sapping as well. Fluff taking some damage. Open Wounds is going to fall. 2 heroes dead right now. There's a 1-for-2 exchange. He might be able to get 2 here. Ix Mike going to go down. Universe with a double kill, but he's getting caught out by Korok right now. You can see he's trying to get the Swarm off of him. Rotating up. Double kill for Korok. He's going to Shikuchi away. There's no way that he's going to maybe hit Entangling Roots first try. No, he doesn't. Korok and Shikuchi in just 2 seconds. Aoi cannot chase him. Gonna resummon the bear. Not gonna help him. Here comes TC with that plasma field coming in, doing some damage. There's the static link from the bear. Split Earth not timed correctly for Dignitas. It's Fog. The Edict going out as well. Fog is gonna fall down. TC getting a double kill. And Liquid getting a lot of farm on these 2 carries. Now rotating up here is Snaking. And Korok should be able to get out of here just fine. TC's got a haste rune as well. And a rotation that didn't do anything for Dignitas on top of Snaking coming in. Not what they wanted. A 1,500 experience lead now going for Liquid. And a 2,000 gold lead on top of that.
That was a bad rotation. There's no other way to put it. You're a level 5 lone druid. You're going to rotate in. That means you're 100% reliant on hitting that entangle. And while entangle, I mean, some people tend to be really lucky with it. It's 20% chance. You can't bank on that. And as such, it got turned around on. I mean, once Razor came in there, they had no chance. And giving up 2 deaths that they really didn't have to. Now, 5-3 kill lead for Liquid after already having it really is going to start to pile on the hurt. We also see the bottom lane is where Lone Druid will go now. So he's trying to avoid the matchup. Question is it too late? Snaking's in trouble in top lane.
Shackle Shot not going to latch. You can see Chilling Touch doing some damage there. Miss going for because of that wind run. And the Edict as well on top of that. Fog needs to hit a beautiful Split Earth. Not going to happen. He'll fall down. Ix Mike grabbing that kill. Snaking on the run right now. He does not have wind run. He will be able to get out of there as Korok will dive into tower range, realizing he doesn't want to take too many tower hits there. Universe now going to, of course, get linked. Doesn't matter. Fluff cannot get that ensnare off either. So Universe only losing a little bit of damage. In fact, I don't think he lost any damage there from the static link. So nice try coming out. The, of course, Plasma Field could have went as well. But right now, TC getting some decent farm. He's got face. He's going for a Wraithband, probably into a Ring of Aquila next Aquila. And, yeah, so right now, I mean, 43 CS for Bulba, 41 for TC, and 27 coming out from Korok. Korok going down, but also grabbing a bunch of kills early on as well. 2, 1, and 4, so getting 4 assists and 2 kills on the board. Pretty good for your aggressive tri-lane right now, at least up here. So 6-3 is the score. They're going to rotate Snaking up here with Way Too Sexy, and Universe is mid right now. Universe might make his way back up there, and Snaking is going to go mid. Meanwhile, there's the wind run. TC going to grab some of the damage from Snaking, in fact, 22 of it. Universe maybe thinking about using that open wounds, not going to happen, but that static link is just so effective right now. You can see how effective it's becoming in the scene as they've already run Razor once today, which of course was in the D2L. So something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Fog will grab a kill on Weaver, who I think used that time lapse. I heard the animation go off, but it didn't matter. The Edict went, the Split Earth I think hit, and so Fog throwing out a little bit of all chat there.
A little bit of a taunt, but I think another little misstep from Korok there. It's been a long day of Dota for both of these teams, really, but still, nonetheless, this is an important series, a lot on the line in terms of the ADL. ADL does have an amazing prize pool, so both of these teams really want to get their way into the finals, and a win here would put them there up against either Denial or EG. It certainly wouldn't be an easy match, but it would be an exciting one, and will be an exciting one. Korok comes right back up to the top lane. He's doing pretty well on his farm. We'll see if he goes for the drums build. Fluff is under farm middle lane. They're going to gank TC, though.
Split Earth's going to fly, as well as the Brain Sap. Fog getting that kill. No, it was Bane. Of course, doing the job with the right-click damage. The Edict from Fog is enough to get the kill. Some TP rotations coming through. It is Ix Mike, but not going to be able to accomplish a whole lot there. So nice try to help his teammate out. Unfortunately, TC will fall, but that is a nice pickup for the side of Dignitas. So they're trying to make up ground here by getting some kills, but at the same time, they're not really getting CS either. So the experience lead still 2,000 for Liquid and a 3,000 gold lead at 10 minutes in the game is pretty rough right now for Dignitas. You can see they're trying to come around on Universe here. He'll back off. Fluff does not have Song of the Siren yet. By the way, he's only level 5. He is, of course, playing that support Naga Siren. Korok is level 8. He's doing pretty well for himself in terms of levels right now. He's only got 39 CS in comparison to, I guess, 53 for TC and Bulba, who are doing very well. Bulba in the jungle right now, trying to farm up his Blink Dagger. We'll be able to get it pretty soon. As you can see, he's just going to go ahead and jungle. Just try to get that money. Get that dollar, essentially, get that Blink Dagger going, and, well, he'll be fine. Universe is trying to get some room desperately to farm here, and he's sitting at 31, and, well, he's going to need a little bit more than that. He's going to go for the drum, which will be done shortly, and Snaking mid is sitting on just regular boots, a Ring of Basilius, and a Magic Stick. That's all he's really been afforded, either in the bottom lane or in the mid lane right now. AUI 2000 is starting to get farm, however, so there is that.
And they let Ancient Apparition go middle. So it's just like last game, letting the Bane get solo experience for a little while. Ancient Apparition needs his level 6. That's the reason why he hasn't been in the scene recently, is because you have to make sure he gets a level 6. It's not always the easiest thing to do. He's a good laner, not the best laner, because he is definitely very vulnerable, and his lockdown isn't a hard lockdown. You're reliant on something else following it up. But now that he has his level 6, they have tremendous map presence with that huge ultimate coming out from, of course, the Ice Blast. So we'll maybe get to see it in one of these team fights up top, but definitely tremendous for him on such a low cooldown to be in play at 11 minutes.
Yeah, and there's actually 4 heroes up top for the side of Liquid. Bulba just picked up his Blink Dagger, by the way. Down bottom, Aui's trying to get farm right now. Meanwhile, Rage is going to go for Universe, realizing he might be in a bad position. There's the Ensnare. Fogged in some trouble. Split Earth not going to hit. That was an illusion. Edict still going right now, doing some damage to Fluff, but Fog will fall down. Batrider's going to pick up that kill. Here's the Ice Blast. Is it going to hit on anybody? No. Just misses completely there as he was trying to snipe somebody. They were all running away, so did not take that into account. Aui now getting chased away with that bear. TC, of course, stealing some of that damage. He's up to 168. He's actually probably going to kill the bear on his own. One more right click should do the job. Is he going to get it? Aui doesn't want to have to recreate it. He's going to summon in front of him. Meanwhile, top lane, Korra picking up a kill on Snaking. Still chasing down here, looking for that bear. TC, I don't think he got it. I'm not sure. Yeah, the bear actually is getting sent home, and TC actually takes quite a bit of damage because of that. But that's not a big deal. There's no real rotation coming out from Dignitas either. And, well, I think that might be the end of it. But Universe is up top, taking some more right click. And, yeah, that's it.
That was an awesome fight from Liquid, just because Fluff used his one illusion and baited that Infest bomb so hard. It was on the Windrunner, and they popped Universe and a Shackle shot onto that one illusion because Fluff separated him. He did like a 1-in-3 approach with all of his replicants. So really well played by him, and it ended up probably saving them. That could have been a really good engage if they got a Shackle in the middle of the fight, but then Fog gets caught overcommitting and they end up getting one free pickoff because of Fluff being diligent with his abilities.
Yeah, so, I mean, smart play coming out, using those illusions to your advantage, microing. So, essentially, right now, Dignitas, they're going to smoke up. They're going to look for something here. They're going to head down to the bottom lane. They're not going to find any heroes down there. Up top, you can still see Fluff is actually waiting in the jungle right now. He's ready to pop that song at a moment's notice when Universe pops his head out into the lane. You can see, I was showing the radius there. It's pretty much this line, essentially. If he comes any closer than, like, this, he's going to get songed. But that's not going to happen. As you can see, down in that bottom lane, they're looking for a jump on TC. And they do have Fiend's Grip, actually, and Way 26 is going to show himself. TC's going to go ahead and just hide himself behind this tower. Bulba's coming through as well. Meanwhile, Snaking going to try to go for... Bulba's trying to go for a Shackle. Nice Split Earth as well. Bulba's going to get hit up by that. Now there's the Edict as well. The Flame Break. The Song of the Siren coming through as Fluff is TP'd down here. The Static Link going through. Way Too Sexy in some trouble. Meanwhile, the lasso on the side of Snaking. He's going to go down as well. Now, 2 down on the side of Dignitas. Bulba getting a double kill. He's going to get 3. He's going to blink forward, looking for more. Aui's on the run here from Korok. Korok, of course, Shikuching, looking for more damage. Universe also trying to back off. He has that Rage. And, of course, that Static Link available in 1 second. The Rage is going to go. TC might use it in just a moment. The slow. Oh, the body blocks from Korok. Aui 2000. He's going to fall. Triple kill coming out from Bulba. Now they're going to keep chasing on Universe. He's going to infest through, but that's his own creeps. He's going to try to get out. Not going to happen. There's going to be, of course, the slow, and he will go down. The Ice Blast flying through as well. Way Too Sexy in some trouble. He is falling. Everybody is dying from Dignitas, and they just keep TPing in. And now Fogged in a bad position. He's looking for Korok here, but this game already getting way out of reach here. They will grab Bulba there with that Shackle shot and the power shot as well. Nice Split Earth hitting onto TC, but Korok's coming through with the Swarm. It's going to hit up on Fogged right now. Korok with Shikuchi, and now, of course, a nice power shot coming through from Snaking, but it doesn't matter. They lose another hero. TC getting another kill, and that is on the Leshrac there. So in a, I guess, clowny engagement, Liquid take a bunch of experience and a bunch of gold as they've got a 7,500 experience in gold lead at this point after that big fight.
Yeah, 15-7 now. Liquid definitely pulling ahead by a good margin, and my concerns initially for this lineup and their success were based on the fact that as Ancient Apparition dies to the Dire, I don't even know
where that happened.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It looks like on the base. I don't even know how he got back there, all the way back on the high ground by the racks. But either way, it's my concerns for their lineup are initially dismissed because of the way that Dignitas laned, and it comes down to the question sometimes of whether or not you want to force someone else to adapt their lanes, or if you want to be the adapter as AOI gets jumped on the top.
Yeah, he
And
should go
he's
down
gonna
here.
drop.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he's surviving that, and that's just another death that you really can't afford.
Yeah, and in this game, it just felt like Dignitas had to adapt, but they were very reluctant to do so. And as such, they just fell behind early here. And it really is a struggle to pick yourself out of that hole when all three lanes get away from you. And you can see these kill leads. I mean, there's no one with a negative score on Liquid right now. Everyone is doing a good job to a phenomenal job. If you're looking at TC, who's 5-1, and is now building a point booster on his way to an Aghanims, which we know is devastating. Ever since the Aghanims got reworked for Razor, it's really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we'll see if he can get that on time. I mean, right now, I mean, they've got quite the lead in net worth you talked about, of course. Razor doing really well for himself. Bulba's doing really well for himself. I mean, all they need to do, I think, is consistently keep shutting down these team fights. Way Too Sexy's actually got a Nakes in him right now. Korok is the only one up here in the top lane. He's, of course, got time-lapse. He's, of course, got Shikuchi. He's got a TP as well. So Korok should be able to get out of here with Shikuchi in just about a second. They actually have no vision right now. The Split Earth, not close. Korok was just going to Shikuchi and run straight away. So a nice try coming out. Way Too Sexy still has that Nakes inside of him, and it looks like they're trying to bait the saddle, but you can see IX Mike is here along with Bulba. They might try to go for a lasso, but that may end up being a costly decision for Liquid. We'll have to see how it plays out. There's going to be Way Too Sexy getting jumped on. The Infest is going to go. The lasso doesn't matter. You can see the cold feet instantly taking him down with Weaver's right click, but Bulba is going to fall to a well-placed fogged Split Earth, but GG will be called from Dignitas. They don't want to waste any more time, realizing they're just not playing their game here. They're going to GG out, and the game is paused. It's going to get unpaused, but doesn't necessarily matter. They still have a game to really figure things out here. Of course, it is going to be game number 4 coming up. Liquid with the 2-1 lead. It is a best of 5, so keep that in mind. But Liquid just so dominant here in this performance. 19-9. TC on that Razor doing absolutely fantastic against mid out of 2000. Bulba had some nice lassos, and Korok, of course, going to town on a lot of those heroes. But really well played coming out from Liquid.
Yeah, just solid all around. And impressive in every single aspect. They take a very complete game against Dignitas, which is no easy feat. Even when they get good matchups, you still have to execute properly, and they did just that. And Dignitas, you know, we saw in the first game, they get kind of the fight brought to them by Liquid, and they don't respond as well. The second game, totally different style. They execute their own game plan and have a lot of success, but this game, once again, kind of pushed around by Liquid and bullied a little bit early on here, and see if they can fix it for the fourth game. And if they have a proper response, or if Liquid perhaps are just going to keep sticking to the Weaver plus whatever strategy and rolling with it.
Yeah, we'll have to see, guys. So make sure you check out AmericanDotaLeague.com. Make sure you check out Twitter.com/MottDota2 if you enjoyed my casting. My name is Mott. And, of course, you can also check out John's Twitter, which is Twitter.com/MYJohnTV. So check everything out there, and we'll see you guys in game number 4. We'll be right back.